Welcome to the VS Criminal Defense Attorneys podcast, providing an informative resource on criminal law with a specific focus on sex crimes. From protecting yourself from false accusations to understanding the exact boundaries of the law, being informed is always the best first line of defense. This podcast series is reviewed and approved by attorney Michelle Villanueva-Scura.
In this episode, we'll take a closer look at how Arizona's Romeo and Juliet law can impact sex crime charges and what steps are necessary for protecting your rights. Arizona law is strict when it comes to sexual conduct with a minor. But what if you are 24 months older than your partner? Can you still be charged with statutory rape? The Romeo and Juliet law is part of Arizona's rape laws, and it is a defense that can be raised if you are being accused of sexual conduct with a minor. This is because in the case of statutory rape, the element of force is eliminated and replaced with a question of age. This can be a very frustrating and confusing situation that may affect you or your children who may still be in high school and under your supervision. But in the eyes of the law, they are adults due to their biological age. To begin with, let's understand how is statutory rape different than rape in Arizona. First, we need to address the confusion surrounding that word rape. When people hear rape, they immediately associate it with an act of violence and force. In Arizona, rape does not require a forcible assault where an individual is physically restrained and forced to engage in a sexual act. Legally, rape can occur when consent is not given or later withdrawn by either party. To complicate this further, consent can only be given by a person who has reached the age of majority, and Arizona's age of consent laws are applied. Here, even if both parties willingly engaged in the activity, if one party is under the age of 18, then that party could not have consented, and by legal definition, rape has occurred. In Arizona, the law explicitly states that a minor cannot consent to sexual relations, no exceptions. In recognition of this, Arizona has carved out statutory rape to deal with situations involving non-violent, non-forcible sexual encounters. Statutory implies that the sexual encounter is illegal not due to force, but rather an age difference. The law recognizes the proximity in age, and it recognizes that had both parties been 18, then there would have been no basis for a crime. Now, let's review in detail Arizona's statutory rape law, ARS 1414-05. While statutory rape eliminates the element of force, it still falls under ARS 1414-05, which encompass sexual abuse and sexual molestation. The state of Arizona has divided this into various categories based on age and the type of sexual activity that is alleged, which include the following. Sexual abuse. Under ARS 13-1401, a person commits sex abuse if they engage in sexual contact with any person who is 15 years or older without consent. Remember, anyone under 18 cannot consent. Additionally, a person commits sex abuse if the contact with the person who is under 15 involves only the touching of the female breast. Sexual conduct with a minor. Under ARS 13-1405, a person commits sexual conduct with a minor by engaging in sexual intercourse with any person who is under the age of 18 years old. This also includes oral sexual contact between any minor who is 15 to 17 and a defendant who is at least 2 years older than the minor. And molestation of a child. Under ARS 13-1410, a person commits molestation of a child by engaging in sexual contact with a person who is under 15 years of age. The only exception here is if the conduct involved was limited to the touching of a female breast. You might be wondering, what am I facing if I am convicted of statutory rape? Many clients' parents and clients often ask our office what could happen if they are convicted by the state of Arizona. Because statutory rape and associated offenses are categorized as felony offenses, a defendant can be looking at very serious consequences, including prison. In Arizona, a felony conviction can carry prison time, fines, probation, and sex offender registry. Because these crimes are sex crimes, the state of Arizona can impose lifetime sex offender probation on top of lifetime sex offender registry. In general, the younger the victim is, the harsher the sentence. In addition to the age of the victim, the state will consider whether the defendant has a history of prior offenses. Here, because they are sex crimes, the state often looks for prior sex offenses and violent offenses when considering aggravating the defendant's sentence. The state will also consider whether the defendant was in a position power, like a teacher, coach, or clergyman, when seeking to aggravate the punishment. While the sentencing range can vary depending on several factors, if you are convicted of sexual conduct with a minor, you can be facing a flat sentence in the Arizona Department of Corrections, running from 13 years to a life sentence. Finally, let's have a look at the defense's strategies to statutory rape. By this time, you may be asking yourself if there are any defenses to these accusations or charges. While these cases can seem hopeless, an experienced Phoenix sex crimes attorney can raise various defenses. In order to do so, the attorney must get a full understanding of the case and state's evidence. The most common defenses an attorney will raise include the following: mistake and lack of knowledge. If a minor is 15 and over, the defense can argue mistake, specifically in cases where the minor misrepresented their age, causing the defendants to believe that the minor was not a minor. In today's digital dating world, minors often create profiles on adult-only sites where they misrepresent their age. Here, an attorney can argue that the defendant reasonably believed that the minor was not a minor. While this may not lead to an automatic dismissal, it is a viable defense. And the Romeo and Juliet defense. This defense is intended to protect young adults who are within 24 months of their partner to avoid more serious life-changing consequences. While a minor can never legally consent, it allows the state to consider proximity in age and the lack of a forcible sexual encounter. Remember, if you're facing serious allegations of sex crimes in Arizona, our experienced attorneys are here to provide the expert guidance you need to protect your rights. Reach out to us today for trusted legal support. Phoenix Sex Crimes are experienced attorneys who specialize in Arizona sex crimes. If you or a loved one find yourself in this situation and you are facing serious accusations, you need to consult with a sex crimes attorney. At VS Criminal Defense, our Arizona sex crimes lawyers have an in-depth understanding of Arizona sex crimes and are dedicated to pursuing justice in your case. Contact us today for a confidential, no-obligation consultation and have peace of mind knowing that your innocence can prevail. Call us at 4809-23901 or visit us online at vsattorney.com.
Thank you for listening to the VS Criminal Defense Attorneys podcast. VS Criminal Defense Attorneys are focused on offering clients personalized service and aggressive representation. Our attorneys are passionate about individual rights, government accountability, and personal freedom. No matter what you are charged with, our criminal defense attorneys will be there to guide you. Call today to schedule your strategy session. It is time to fight back.